guys, welcome to another review. Another e-liquid review coming today from Jungle Funk e-liquid, or Smokey Joe at Jungle Funk. Sent us through 4 juices, and this is the last of the 4 for the review puppets. So what we're doing today is Baloo's Wet Dream. So I'll go into what that is in a minute. Bit of information about it, guys. 60/40 PGVG. All the stuff you want on the bottle, tactile labels, chip compliant labels, child safety caps, fully sealed bottle, all wicked stuff, delivered promptly. Not available through a website yet, but it's down there for the Facebook group, and you can order directly from the Facebook group, made in batches. Place an order. Your order will go out in next week's batch. Batches end on Sundays at midnight. So that's how it works. Batch numbers are included and all that kind of stuff to trace issues, if there were to be any, basically. So that's how it works. So on to Baloo's Wet Dream. Let's put that there for a second. Baloo's Wet Dream. Baloo had some very naughty dreams about this baked apple cider, a unique tasting vape with a hint of cider flavour. The cross-dressing dancing bear has been singing about this and said it makes him forget his worry and strife. Just don't tell him I stole some for you. So a little write-up with a little backstory, which is pretty cool. So an apple cider vape. Okay, alright, fair enough. I'm not a big fan of cider, if I'm honest with you, but then this is not cider, this is e-liquid, so we'll give it a go. So what I've got today is the Mr. V3 filled to the brim with Baloo's Wet Dream. So yeah, we're going to have a nice little vape and let you know what I think. Right, straight away, it's quite a smooth juice actually. It's got a little punch at the back, but it's, for an apple cider, I was expecting something quite punchy, and it's a fairly balanced, smooth juice. I immediately get an apple, possibly with a little bit of aniseed or something going on in there. It's coating my mouth, so I'm immediately getting an apple. You then get the kind of the cidery punch to this, which kind of is like a concentrated apple core, if you like. Yeah, I mean, on the way in, very creamy, and it's pretty much all the flavour comes in one big thump as you exhale. But it's a very, very strong sort of apple core, like brewed apple, which is what cider is. Apple core on the way out. There's definitely something going on in there. It could be a slight touch of aniseed. I'm not entirely sure. It's quite hard to pinpoint this. I mean, I've tried a few apple ciders previously in the past, and I've always found that they weren't really to my tastes. To be honest with you, I found that they were very, very strong, very overbearing, if I'm perfectly honest. In this instance, it's not. It's actually quite it's sort of a mid to high flavour, I suppose, because on the way in there isn't bags of it, but on the way out it all comes, and it's still lingering now. I can still taste it. So definitely an apple cider. We kind of vape that one. I'll do 2 marks out of 10. One for does it taste like it's supposed to, and then obviously my personal take on it. It's the way we've done it for a long time, so I'm going to continue doing it that way. So does it taste like an apple cider? Yes, it does. I mean, it definitely does. I mean, apple cider wouldn't be my preference for e-liquid, but I could vape this one quite happily because it's definitely got that fruity uplift before the kind of the cidery fermentation punch comes in. So for that, yeah, I mean, it's definitely tasting like an apple cider to me. It's a mid-range of sweetness, you know, not too much, but enough that if you have got the sweet tooth going on, it will kind of get you satisfied, and you know, if you like that kind of thing, spot on. Yeah, so I mean, for an out of 10, I'm going to give it a 10. I think a 10's fair, to be honest with you, because it's the best apple cider I've tasted so far. For me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of apple juices, and I'm definitely not the biggest fan of cider. I actually refuse to drink cider because it makes me feel ill. But this does taste like an apple before the cider comes in, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain that, for me anyway, on this build, which is a one-ohm build. So for me personally, I'm going to give this one a 7, purely because I'm not the biggest fan of apple, and I'm definitely not the biggest fan of cider, but it's actually quite a pleasant vape, this one. Very smooth. The throat hit's minimal on these juices. For a 60/40 mix, I expected a little bit more throat hit from a 12 milligram strength. I'm happy there isn't, because I'm very susceptible to it, which means if you're not so susceptible, chances are you're probably not even really going to feel too much of the throat hit. But yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it if you're in the market for this kind of flavour for sure. It's a nice fruit mixing juice, if you know what I mean. It's kind of, it would be good if you were drinking. It's kind of got that punch that you require if you're having a few bevies. So yeah, I would recommend it if you're in the market for an apple cider flavoured juice. Spot on. I've actually tasted apple juices that tasted less of apple than this one does. So yeah, I think he's done really well on this one. So well done for that, Smokey. Other than that, guys, I think we're pretty much done. Like I say, I will link it down here if you want to go and check it out on the Facebook group, and if there's a website that comes available and I've linked it, or I go and search it out, then I will include that in the notes as well. Other than that, thank you for watching, and shall see you soon.